Hey, listen up. Fentanyl is everywhere, and it's deadly. Just a tiny amount, even in pills or powders you might think are safe, can kill you. You can't see it, taste it, or smell it. It's that dangerous. If you're not sure what you're taking, don't risk it. Talk to someone you trust and look out for your friends. One pill can change everything. Stay smart, stay safe.
Hello, I'm Tony Young, and every week I will be your guide to the music of the Fab Four with my show With the Beatles. John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr, those four lads from Liverpool. First airings are Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. with repeats on Thursdays and Saturdays from 8 to 10 a.m. right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. Tune in to catch Beatlemania.
Hi, I'm Paul Pearson of StarTime. Did you know that back in the 9th century, Rainier Avenue Radio was the host of the first annual Gregorian chant-off? Man, that was tight. Well, times have changed and so have we. Now you can hear all the great Rainier Avenue Radio shows on our mobile app for Android and iPhone. It's completely free on the Google Play Store and the iPhone App Store. The Rainier Avenue Radio app.
This is Big Poppy, host of Jazz from the Cabinets. Join me each week for a listening tour of the first century of jazz, an eclectic mix of Dixieland, big band, cool jazz, bebop, contemporary jazz, world jazz, all in all forms. That's Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy on Rainier Avenue Radio, streaming worldwide on RainierAvenueRadio.world.
Hurry up, honey. We're going to be late.
Are we going to the haunted house?
What haunted house?
At the Columbia City Theater. The whole building is being turned into a haunted house. There's going to be a haunted tour where we hear tales about the theater, and we might even be able to see a real ghost.
What time does it open?
I read it's on the 19th, 26th, and 31st from noon to 6 p.m. Can we go, please?
Okay. You want to really go? Then let's do it.
This is Paul Pearson, host of StarTime. And when I'm not shouting, "Badia" at city council meetings, I'm listening to RainierAvenueRadio.world.
Help. What's wrong? Help. Well, hello, everyone. Hello, and thank you for joining another episode of Real Estate and Money. How are you doing?
Hey, I can't see myself.
Well, you look gorgeous.
Can you see me?
We can see you.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Great.
There we are.
There you are. Great. How are you, Violeta? Okay.
I'm good. I'm
Yes.
cold.
Yes, you're cold.
It's fall.
It's fall.
And,
yeah, well, it's still
the
like 80
weather
degrees
has
over here.
changed.
It's still 80 degrees where we're at. We're all praying for cold weather so that we can start wearing some fall clothes because we've all outworn our
That's so
summer clothes.
crazy.
What's that? Yeah,
That's so crazy. You said you packed up your summer clothes or no?
Yeah, no, I have to wear them still. Yeah, we've completely worn out all our summer clothes. I mean, all my shorts, my tops, everything's just so worn out because it's been like 7 months. So we're just on short outside. It's beautiful outside. So but it'll hit hard like the last week of October. It'll hit hard.
We do have our seasons here too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, my hands are cold. I need a blanket over me right now.
Oh no. Oh no.
Anyway,
Well,
yeah, it's all about this thing called climate change, right?
yes, it is.
And that's what we're talking about today.
Yes.
All the natural disasters that have occurred because the way things are changing right now. Our
Yes,
environment, our atmosphere.
it's been quite a crazy ride here the last couple of weeks here in the United States. We've had tornadoes, we've had earthquakes, we've had, of course, the hurricane that hit Florida just last week. And everybody who was watching television or TikTok, you notice that most of the western coast of Florida was hit very, very hard. There was a lot of evacuations, a lot of damage, a lot of property damage. A lot of the streets were damaged. A lot of there's like 3 feet of sand on some of the inland roads that are just right off the beach. So it's a very, very sad time right now. And of course, we're thinking that all of this is part of global warming. And even here in Colorado, we're experiencing good weather, but this is abnormal. This is not normal for us to be having 80-degree weather October 15th. So because of global warming, there's been so many different changes in earthquakes, tornadoes, tsunamis, you name it, we've got it. So we're going to be focusing today on disasters and how to actually prepare yourself in times of a disaster.
Yeah, and poor Florida, a couple weeks before that, they got hit on the other side, from the Atlantic side.
Yeah.
With, I forgot what her name was. There's so many hurricanes.
Helene, yeah.
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 And,
so
here, what do we have here? We have flooding now, again, because of climate change, and the snow cap didn't get a lot of things melting, or they have been melting, and they'll come down and hit those areas with rivers and tend to overflow. Get into people's yards, crawl space, into their homes. So, not only are we experiencing a lot of that stuff, but insurance. It's our insurance. And some states, I guess, will not cover you for certain things, right, Tina?
Yes. So what we're talking about is, there are places such as Florida and such as California where insurance companies actually some of them have pulled out, and they're no longer doing insurance or covering insurance in those parts of the United States. Now, some areas like Florida and California, in California, the government actually stepped in and they have a fund that everybody contributes to. It's more of a fund as opposed to insurance. In Florida, a lot of the big boys came out of doing insurance coverage in January of 2024. So the insurance that is available is very, very expensive. I have one client whose payment went up from, I think it was $200 a month to $1,000 a month. And her payment was $1,700 a month. Now it is $2,800 a month. So that was just in the last 4 or 5 months. So this sort of thing, that insurance is ridiculous. So what they're going to do, they're just going to leave. They're going to go somewhere else where insurance isn't so high. There may be some points of areas where you don't even get insurance. They don't insure certain areas. I know here in Colorado, we have some places that are at the foothills of the mountains, and you cannot get fire or hazard insurance. The lenders are just, we can't lend because the insurance companies are not insuring these properties. Now, it's not illegal. It's not mandated that you have insurance. You don't have to have insurance. But if you do have a mortgage on your house, your lender is going to require that you have insurance.
That's right.
So this to take into account, when you're buying a house, you want something up, dreamy up in the mountains, and there's a creek, there's a lake up there. It's all, it's very peaceful and quiet, but you can't get any insurance. So a lot of the reasons is because they don't have any fire stations anywhere near you should there be a fire and your house will burn down. So a lot of these areas, they're very ripe for heat. They're very ripe for thunderstorms and fires, that sort of thing. And you are just not going to get insurance. So when you are buying a house, you want to look at these things. There's other things that impact insurance, like if you are in a flood zone. So Violeta, earlier today, we were talking about Chehalis. Chehalis, parts of Roy, parts of Anacortes, or parts of Washington State, or even LaConner or Mount Vernon. I remember 20, 30 years ago, there was floods all over, just floods, just like 2 feet of water all the way across from the freeway all the way to you couldn't see. So there are certain areas where you are required by the government to have flood insurance. So if you're in an area that is ripe for floods, they're constantly flooding. The government actually does have a database, and the government will tell you if this is in a flood-related area. And if you are in a flood zone, they require you to have flood insurance. So I did a loan for a lady in Florida. I think Florida Keys or something like that last year, a $1.3 million home, and her flood insurance alone was $1,000 a month. That was just flood insurance. This is not even talking about the mortgage. I think the mortgage was like $8,000 or something like that, but on top of that was the insurance. So a lot of times you want to when you're looking for second homes, you're looking for somewhere that's really nice. If it's in a mountain area, if it's by a beach, if it's by a creek, if it's somewhere where there could be a natural disaster, or maybe it's earthquake prone, you either will not be able to get insurance, or the insurance may be quite costly. So you want to add that into your budget. So V, are there any areas in Seattle that you think?
Well, even nearby Covington,
yes.
I remember showing a house to a client. It's a rambler, and maybe 100 yards away, it's a small creek, and there was a raised. It was a rambler. There was a raised deck and back facing the creek area, and it's I couldn't even see the creek because it was down a ways. But apparently, when the water crests over that embankment, it's a low bank, really low bank, and it will come and they'll get into their crawl space, flood their crawl space. So they always had issues, and I said to my buyers, probably will cost you a lot for flood insurance. And they're going, but there's nothing that would flood it. The creek was maybe a dry riverbed at that time.
Yeah.
And you don't know. So you got to look at the history and look at the flood maps for that particular home. As the agent for that buyer, you need to look and pay attention. You need to look at the disclosure statements, because that also gives you an idea of what hazards have happened on that property, whether it's flood or earthquake or fires or whatever it is, landslides. Then you can see it. It'll be disclosed by the seller, should be. And that affects your potable water, your drinking water, whether you're on septic, sewer, especially septic. The drain fields will get flooded. It could be a mess. Right. So once you put in a claim, probably your premiums will go up. Right?
Yeah.
The next thing you see is that happening. And again, you just need to make sure that your buyers are prepared.
Yes.
For anything eventual like that, or fires. In California, we talked about the fires that have crept into town, or even here in Oregon. Remember, was it last year? It came into nearby Oregon, the cities, the small cities, and we're thinking, how did that get there? It could be just unintentional fires or woodland fires. You don't know.
Yes. I mean, it's really, it's very scary. A lot of times you'll have somebody who wants to buy a house by a lake or a creek or something, and the house is only $200,000. Wow.
Yeah.
And then when you do some searching, you actually call your insurance agent up after you're under contract. They're like, your insurance is like $800 a month, because for whatever reason there was flooding or there was fire hazards or whatever. So, just like Violeta saying, if you do find a house in these areas, talk to your agent. And if you do have a car insurance provider or a rental insurance provider, that's a good start to call that agent up and say, hey, I'm looking at buying this property. What would be the quoted insurance for that if I were to buy this property? And a lot of times they'll tell you.
Yeah.
You don't want to be at the closing table, or you want a week out from closing and your lender asks you for proof of insurance. And you're like, okay, you finally get to it. You find out your payments are like $600 a month more than you anticipated. So make sure you find the house. Call your insurance agent. Don't wait for the mortgage person to do it. But call your insurance agent up and ask, if I get this property, what would be the insurance on it? Okay. And I believe everybody's different too. I think it has to do with your driving record, your credit report, whether you bundle your cars with your home insurance, something like that. But I have a link really quick. Is that okay, V? I want to show it really quick. Yeah, let's bring this link up really quick
Let
here.
me see it.
You see it? Okay. It talks about the key takeaways of insurance. States do not legally require homeowners to actually have home insurance, but it's usually required by the lender. Okay, as you see there. Home insurance provides financial protection from unexpected losses due to physical perils like fire and wind damage, as well as potential liability concerns for things such as dog bites or slip and falls. So, if you were to have a tornado or you have a windstorm or something like that, this right here actually would be a good, it could be covered. Most mortgages require home insurance coverage for the rebuilding cost of your home. But depending on the climate and other circumstances in your specific location, additional coverage for flooding or earthquakes may be required. So if you're in an area that's really happy with earthquakes, earthquake insurance may be required. So that's something that your insurance agent can help you with. Mortgage insurance is a separate insurance policy. So there's mortgage insurance, there's homeowners insurance, there's all types of different things, but we're specifically talking about homeowners insurance. So thank you, Daniel. So basically, that's just reiterating to you that you don't have to have insurance, but if you do have a mortgage, the lenders are going to require you to have insurance to protect their asset. If anything should happen to you, or let's say you owe $600,000 on a home and it burns to rubble, which has happened like 2 blocks away from me. Somebody's house burned down here.
Wow.
Gone. And if you don't have any insurance, that's gone. But then the mortgage company is like, wait, hold on, you still owe $600,000 on that, and it's the house is gone. So that's why lenders require for you to have insurance so that their asset is protected.
Mm-hmm.
So let us go on to one more thing. We've got another link really quick here. This link asks which disasters are actually covered by homeowners insurance. So there is a graph there that talks about the different types of disasters. I'm not sure if you could pull that up, Daniel. But the type of disasters that are covered by homeowners insurance, damage caused by vehicles, smoke, vandalism, theft, volcanic eruption. So if you live somewhere like Hawaii, volcanic eruption, falling objects, weight of ice, snow, or sheet. So like here we had, I had roof damage, but if I had ice or sleet on there and the roof were to cave in, that would cover that. That could be through an ice storm. Accidental discharge of overflow of water or steam within a plumbing, heating, or air conditioning. So if anything should happen to your water during a catastrophe. Sudden and accidental tearing apart, cracking, burning, or bulging of steam or hot water. Freezing of plumbing, heating, or conditioning or automatic. Sometimes you live here in Colorado, it gets down to -10 degrees, and if everything should burst, that would be, you don't have enough heat in your house to keep the pipes cold. Sudden and accidental damage from artificial generated electrical currents, and all perils except flood, earthquake, war, nuclear accident, landslide, mudslide, sinkhole, and others as specified by your policy. So, nuclear accident, let's pray we don't ever have to have that. Landslide, mudslide, people who live in the mountainous areas, a lot of times there's avalanches, there could be a slide off the mountain of land. So if you are in areas that are prone to landslides, to flood, to earthquake, that sort of thing, you can actually get added insurance that would actually cover for that.
Right.
If you are in, and thank you so much, Daniel. But if you are in these areas where there's wind, there's tornadoes. If you're in Tornado Alley, if you're prone to an area that has flooding, earthquakes or something like that, or if you're thinking about moving to the bottom of the volcano there in Hawaii, there's going to be maybe an added cost for insurance. So really think about that. Talk to your realtor, talk to your mortgage loan officer, and most especially talk to your insurance agent about your coverage and how much it would cost. So a lot of times when we ask for insurance policies from my clients, sometimes they have a $1,000 deductible. Sometimes the lenders will allow up to a $5,000 deductible. So let's say that you had a hailstorm or something like I had, and the roof is damaged. I had a $3,000 deductible on my home. And I'm like, who did that? I should have had a $500 deductible. But it's cheaper when you have a $1,000 deductible than it is if you had if you have a $1,000 deductible, it's more expensive, and it's cheaper if you have a higher deductible.
Right.
So a lot of times I'll have somebody in, their insurance policy comes in, and it's $325 a month, and I was only accounting for $200. And I tell the client, they freak out. The loan is not approved because now they're over their debt to income ratio. A lot of times I'll call the insurance agent and I'll say, listen, I just want fire and hazard. I don't care about earthquake. I don't care about all the little bells and whistles you have. I just want to strip it down to hazard because that's all we require. I don't require your upstairs, $15,000 coverage here, $5,000 for your Rolex watch. I don't care. All I care about is hazard. So a lot of times your lenders, if you do have a rather large insurance policy and you want to find out why, you can talk to your insurance agent and they'll tell you maybe crime went up in the area or there's hailstorms in this certain area and, so on and so forth. Or they'll tell you, hey, this is just, I put everything in there. Well, I don't want the kitchen sink. Sometimes you have to tell them, I don't want the kitchen sink, and just strip it down to what is necessary. And so a lot of times I'll have my clients talk to 2 or 3 different insurance persons, somebody that I refer to them, somebody they refer to, and then maybe somebody they Google. But it's very, very good. You can see a big spread in insurance policies and insurance coverage and insurance costs. So when a disaster happens, of course you want to have the water in the sink, and we'll talk about that. You want to have the first aid and that sort of thing. But most importantly, you want to cover your assets, your house, your car.
Right.
Yeah. Now we can talk about the other things like your dogs running around, your cats,
oh yes,
birds. So if you're frozen, I'm not quite sure if you knew you're frozen. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're frozen.
I know. It happened quite a while ago. I everything's working on my end. I can see you, but
okay.
Daniel, do you know how to fix this?
I have to refresh her.
Oh, I have to refresh.
I don't know you can try these frozen. Yeah. See if you can refresh on the top left screen, that circle with the arrow. See if that'll work. Yeah. But in times of disaster, if you've got some leadway, you've got 1 or 2 days leadway, what do you do with your animals? Some animals like horses and cows and that sort of thing may not be able to come with you. But maybe you can make arrangements for whatever reason to get them out of there. But your dogs, it's very, very important to have your dog chipped. If for whatever reason something happens, you want to have your dog chipped. So V, do you have your dog chipped?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Both of them are.
If I could figure out how to chip my daughter, I would do that too. But but it's very important to get your animals, if you can, take them with you, even if you think it's like an overnight thing. There's so many different rescue and search companies out there, nonprofits out there in Florida now searching for animals. And a lot of them have gone astray. A lot of them have run away. Some of them actually just did not survive. But make sure that you think about your animals. What should you do? What could you do if there should be a national disaster? Can you get back to your house? Is there a neighbor that can take care of your dog? If for whatever reason you're out of state, you're out of town, or you're 18 miles away and you can't get to your dogs, is there a neighbor that can get to your animals?
Right.
So that's something that we always want to talk about. Your cats. Sometimes you have to put a chip in them too, because you can't find them for like days. But yeah, so that's something you want to think about. So also, V, I don't know if you guys know this, but there is a new, let me see if I can find it right here. Here we go. I'm going to send this to Daniel.
Can you see
I
me
just
now?
found this out off of TikTok. But your phone, when national disasters come, the cell towers go out. You can't get a hold of everybody. All the cell towers all broken up and so on and so forth, and nobody can get through. So there is a way you can use your phone to actually connect to a satellite. So I don't know if you can pull that up, Daniel. And I won't read everything on this, but we'll kind of skim through it. But this message says how to send messages via satellite on your iPhone or your Pixel. Well, I'm not quite sure. I've got a 13, but I think it may be standard on the 14 or 15 iPhone or what have you. And I believe you can also get this on an Android. But there are ways in which you can use your phone. Here we go here. And you can just Google this. Thank you, Daniel. It says, first of all, try to dial 911. And if that doesn't work, let's go on and let's see if we can hook you up to satellite. So if you can get to satellite and you can call your loved ones and let them know you're safe and let them know you need help, most importantly, you may be able to use your cell phone to connect via satellite. So if you're thinking about getting an iPhone 14, or iCloud 14 or something like that, an iPhone 14, this may be a very good opportunity or reason, especially if you're in a disaster-prone area, to find out how to use your iPhone to connect to a satellite in case all the towers go out, the cell phone towers go out. And also, if you do have a what's it called here? I think you can scroll down just a little bit. It says how to. Okay, you'll have to get to the links here, but if you scroll down just a little bit, Daniel, it says how to use satellite messaging. So whether you have an iPhone, a Pixel 9, or what have you, if you have a Sony or an Android, there are ways you can hack your phone to actually connect to satellite. You have to be outside. You can't be in your house, though, playing around with it. You have to actually be outside, pointing towards a satellite. Okay. So Daniel, thank you so much for doing that. Yeah. You see that? Yeah. You have to be outside. You have to be outside. So that's one thing that we didn't have last year. I just found this out on TikTok, the number one place for information. But yes, yeah. So if it'd be very important for your family if you do have an iPhone or you have an Android or something like that. If you're able to actually look at your phone and find out or practice with your kids and practice with yourself, see if you can go outside and figure out how to get to or at least screenshot the directions on your phone, but how to actually connect to a satellite so you can call your loved ones in case there's an emergency or in case you need to tell them where you're at. There's a good way to use your technology that we have right now. And so V, if you're not, I've got all these different ways to, I have these different storage units that my phone can actually charge onto that are separate from what is it called? I have like a charging bank that so if there is a case of emergency and I cannot plug in because I have no power, I do have different devices in which I can charge my phone. And so, so make sure that you've got chargers and everybody is connected electronically in case there is an emergency.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I've never heard of this before.
Yeah. Well, you got to get a TikTok account. You'll see it all the time. But
yes, well, I can't see you. I can hear you. Okay. I don't know if you can see me.
I can see you. You're beautiful. Odd. I can see you. Yeah. Yes, but we do have some announcements. You wanted to say the announcements? Pete?
Okay.
Yeah,
I got it right here. Mm-hmm. We're promoting several things during the next few weeks and on our live shows. The Columbia City Theater is hosting a haunted house October 19th, 26th, and 31st from noon to 6. And we will hold a live fentanyl awareness town hall meeting on November 2nd at 11 a.m., which will be broadcast on our radio station here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. The WIAA Primetime Weekly returns for its first show of the school year. And then there's a lot of things here, but Mental Awareness for Men and Seattle Sports Weekly are back to doing live shows after taking a few weeks off. So hope you guys are rested and ready to go.
Wow.
And then there's a lot of other things, but be sure to tune in. And I'm going to have to check out that haunted house thing. That sounds
that sounds like fun. That sounds like fun. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's the next big event. Are you ready for that? You got your costume ready?
Oh, I've got all different types of superhero costumes I want to do. I'm a superhero every single year. That's not even a joke. But yeah. So I got my. How about you? You have your costumes, everything ready?
Oh yeah. You know what? It doesn't matter because all the kids go elsewhere. There's no kids in the neighborhood. I bought a bunch of candy last year. No one came along, so I dumped it over the next door neighbor who has a grandson that came over during the weekend. So there's no one really to scare.
There was nobody. Oh my goodness.
Unless I go to a party. Yeah.
Oh yeah, my neighbor's having a party.
Yeah.
They just came from the UK last year. So we're gonna have a good party. What's that?
Yeah. No parties here. I live, a very established neighborhood, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But everybody give us a call if you guys want to look for a house or anything. This is a very good week. Rates have came down. And the prices of houses have came down to try to sell. So it's a very good time. Give me or Violeta a call. Let us know what you want, what your desire. Let's see if we can get you pre-approved and out there looking for a new home.
Yes.
Yes.
Pre-approval first. So yes, get a hold of Tina.
Yes.
And okay, so we'll see you next week, next Tuesday at Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Tuesdays at 2:30. I'm Violeta Strash with Coldwell Banker Danforth.
And here in Colorado at 3:30. And I'm Tina Lombard with Mortgage. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.